Jennifer. I'm currently pregnant with my second child and I've just reached week 14 yesterday. So I'm making a video all about my first trimester. Because this is my second baby, I kind of thought, you know what, I've got experience of this before. There are similarities between this pregnancy and my last pregnancy. And I feel like I've got some good experiences to speak to, so I kind of thought I'd kind of share a bit about that. I'm thinking of making weekly ones starting now, but I'm not sure, so you might see more, you might not. If you do see more, it might be weekly, it might be by trimester, who knows, we'll see what I have time to fit in, because I have an 18-month-old girl who's very active and very bored in lockdown, so it's a matter of trying to keep her entertained. But since like lockdown's eased a little bit, she can go and see her grandparents now, so I've got a little bit of time. Oh, a little bit more time. So I'm going to start by saying we found out I was pregnant when I was just over, like, considered to be 3 weeks. So when you get pregnant, they kind of work it out by the start of your last period. So it was, for me, it was exactly a month after the start of my last period, but I kind of knew, because I've got irregular cycles and I think I ovulate quite late into my cycle, that I kind of knew I was more like 3 weeks, like maybe just over 3 weeks. We were trying for this baby. We feel very blessed to have got pregnant with this baby so quickly. Might go more into details about our journey to deciding we were going to have this baby in future. This baby is due on the 25th of January. My little girl came 4 days late. I've heard like second babies tend to come earlier than first babies, so I'm wondering if, who knows what will happen. I have no clue. Maybe this baby will come a bit earlier. Symptoms wise, I have felt very sick. I have been very sick. When I got pregnant with this baby, I was in a temporary contract at a job because my work had shut down because of quarantine. Yay! I found a temporary contract somewhere else and I was doing some work there just to kind of give myself a little bit more money. That contract's come to an end now, but I was very sick with my sickness. I suppose, like, I'll tell you a bit about my sickness in my first pregnancy, because literally from like 2 days after I found out I was pregnant with my first baby, I was spewing many times a day, not keeping anything down, and I was sick right up until well into my third trimester. It was awful. I ended up in hospital with my first because I was so sick. I hadn't kept any food down in days, and I damaged my gullet quite badly and I was spewing blood, so they wanted to check that I actually hadn't damaged my stomach and that it was in fact my gullet. I tried so many different medications. They put me on, what they would do is they would put me on one and it would work for like about a week and then it would stop working, the effectiveness would wear off and it wouldn't work and I'd be sick again. And I'd go back to not being able to keep anything down, and there was a cycle of this. So when I was like 8 weeks pregnant ish, maybe a little bit more, I went into hospital. They put me on a drip so I could get what I needed. I also had to have an injection into my bottom of like an anti-sickness medication, and oh my goodness, I have never slept better. It was amazing. That's kind of like my background with morning sickness. It was horrible in my first pregnancy, so I was so terrified it was going to be like this. This time, I maybe started spewing when I was about 5 weeks. Like I started being sick when I was about 5 weeks pregnant this time, and it got worse and worse, and I did get put on medication for it, and then that worked again for a couple of days, and then it didn't. But thankfully, the only thing they actually had to do this time was they upped my dose so I could take one extra tablet a day, and that has worked fine. I've still been sick a few times, but it's been nowhere near every day, and it's started to decrease. It started decreasing at about 12 and a half weeks, and it's almost gone. I'm taking my medication because like I tried to come off it and I started being like sick again. So I'm staying on that for a little while longer, just until it's all like definitely gone away, because of course I want to be able to look after my toddler. I don't want to be so sick that I can't look after her. So this medication's done wonders for that, and I was so relieved when it worked. I did not want to have to go into hospital with all this craziness of lockdown going on and leaving my toddler at home. She would have been absolutely safe with my partner, she would have been fine, but I did not want to leave her because she's my angel. I barely like leaving her when she sees her grandparents, let alone like for any longer than that. Like she goes to her grandparents for maybe like 3 hours, and I'm missing her the whole time. So I'm so glad I didn't have to go to hospital this time. Other than that, I've been very tired. I've been taking a nap most days. Like again, from when I was about 5 weeks pregnant, I was napping. I would go for a nap when my daughter goes for a nap somewhere around 1 o'clock. And then my partner was waking me up at 4, going, it's 4 o'clock, do you want to get up? I'm like, okay. And then I'd be going to bed again. Yeah, so I'd be napping from like 1 until 4. And then my daughter would go to sleep at about 7. And I would be in bed not much later, and then I'd sleep right through until 7 or 8 the next day. So I was sleeping a lot. That's kind of, again, beginning to decrease now. I'm beginning to get some energy back. I notice when I don't take my nap, if I don't have my nap in the middle of the day, I am crawling into bed by like 8 o'clock at the latest. But I'm beginning to cope without a nap. You know, I do better in the evening if I've had a nap, but I do better. Like I can cope, but I do better with a nap, but I can make it through to bedtime without a nap these days, which is a million times better. So yeah, that's like basically been it symptoms wise. I've got bigger quicker this pregnancy. So my last pregnancy, I didn't have a bump until it was maybe like 20 weeks pregnant, but it was so tiny. And then later in my pregnancy, my bump didn't grow. But this time I'm already like I'm expanding quite a bit. I'll do a bump shot before I before I stop filming. But yeah, I think I've maybe put weight on better this time round, again because my sickness has been better. I lost, I think, a little, like just a couple of pounds. I think I'm beginning to put it on a bit now, which is brilliant. I guess I should tell you like a little bit about what baby's doing at the end of the second trimester. So I've just double checked the baby stats so I get this right. I maybe should have written it down before I started doing this. Okay. But the baby, as of week 14, is about the size of a lemon. They're about 8.7 centimeters long and about 1.5 ounces. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they're growing so fast. It was only like 7.5 centimeters like last week, and this week it's crazy. I can't even fathom how fast they're growing. They're beginning to be able to move. So at like 14 weeks, babies can begin to move their eyes. They can't open them yet, but they can move them. They can start scrunching their face up and grimacing and frowning, and they can start practicing like sucking and chewing and things like that. They're beginning to get that like fluffy hair, like the little tufts of hair, not tufts, they get covered in like this little downy hair they have when they're in the womb. Sometimes they're born with it, but they usually lose it first. So it's just so cute. Like they're actually beginning to be a proper little person. It's lovely. My partner, actually, something very interesting that's happened is I can now feel baby move, and my partner has felt baby move. So in your first pregnancy, this doesn't tend to happen until a bit later, but it happens earlier with subsequent pregnancies. So with my first, it would have been a few weeks after this, and then this time round it's happened much earlier. My partner can even feel my baby moving, and they'll feel our baby moving, and it's so lovely. It makes them so broody. It's so cute. But we had an early scan to check that they were okay for various reasons, which maybe I'll get into one day. They wanted me to go in and have an early scan, and that was really nice. They found a heartbeat really easily, and I was very nervous going into this scan, and they found a heartbeat so easily, and they're like very, very happy little baby in there, very lovely. So then I was fine to wait until my 12-week scan that I had when I was 12 weeks and 1 day, and that's when they gave me my due date of 25th of January. And they said very happy baby. As soon as they put like the ultrasound probe on my tummy, I saw this big wiggly mess, just wiggles, and I just instantly knew it was going to be okay, because I saw this child wiggle its butt off. It was so cute. My partner was allowed to come in for the last 5 minutes, so up until very recently, with lockdown, you've not been allowed to take someone to your scan unless you have mobility issues that mean like you need someone to help you. So my partner didn't get to go to the early scan, but he got to come in for the last 5 minutes of the 12-week scan, and it was so lovely. He came in, he saw the baby wiggle about, and while he was in there, the baby did this huge like somersault, completely flipped over, and it was just so nice for us to see this baby perfectly okay, perfectly healthy. It's just so sweet. We were so emotional. So I think that's more or less everything. So anyway, I'll do a quick shot of my bum, and then I will probably say goodbye and try and edit this mess of rambling. Actually, I got this shirt on right now. I should probably like get that off. And I see my bump's massive already. Anyone who saw me in my first pregnancy will know I had a tiny bump. So that's bump right there. As you can see, I look quite pregnant. I think I look more than 14 weeks pregnant. I'll just kind of pull this down there. See, proper wee bump there. Super cute. Just ignore my labels. Super cute. There you go, that's the baby. Well, that's the baby, it's the bump. Whatever, same thing. Oh, what else I will say before I go is, if you are pregnant, keep an eye out on Lidl's when they get maternity clothes in. I got these in my first pregnancy with my daughter, and they are so good. They have lasted so well, and I did not think I was going to need maternity clothes this early with my second pregnancy, but I don't fit into any of my jeans. I can do like the elastic band around the hair tie trick just about, but it doesn't really work that well anymore. I'm already grown out of most of my clothes, so I don't have much to wear anymore. But I do have my maternity clothes from Lidl's, and they were cheap and they work, and they've done one pregnancy and now they're doing another pregnancy, so that's very exciting. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else. I don't think I've got anything else to share with you. I think that's everything for now. I will see you when I do another update. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.